So what does a really strong LinkedIn profile look like if you're a job seeker? So today I'm going to be talking through section by section what you need to include on your LinkedIn profile if you're out there looking for a new role at the moment. I think the underlying theme is effort. The LinkedIn profile needs to be as complete as possible with as much information in there as possible, but it does need to be the right information. So starting with the photograph, the first thing that people will look at when they come onto your LinkedIn profile, include a photograph. There are many profiles out there with just blank faces. I think it's important to have something that shows people who you are and ideally gives them an indicator as to the kind of personality that you are. So if possible, I would say smile in your photograph. If you've got something that is positive and fun, I would, yet professional, I would include something like that on the profile. But yeah, really important to have a photograph. Secondly, then we move on to the headline, which is not necessarily your job title. So I'll just explain a bit further on that. We apply something called the rule of 3 to this piece of information, the headline. So you actually need 3 job titles. You need your current or most recent job title. You then need your aspirational job title and then an atypical job title for somebody with your skills in your industry. So for example, if you were head of analytics looking to move into a director grade role, you would have head of analytics, director of analytics, and then head of insight, for example. So you've got to think about the kind of key terms that recruiters will use to search for somebody with your skills and experience and reflect that in the titles that you choose to include. Moving on from that, you have just underneath that the location, which is also really important. It's another variable that recruiters will search on 95% of the time. So make sure you put the location of where you want to be working in your next role. So you may not be there at the moment. So just make sure that it reflects not necessarily where you live or where you currently work, but where you want to be working in your next role. That's really important. Moving on from that, we then have the about section or the summary section. So this is an opportunity to provide a short summary around your skills and experience, and also you can mention your target job in there as well. So quite often I find people talk about what they're aspiring to be, perhaps what they're passionate about, maybe some studies that they're doing at the moment, online courses, but quite often you'll find in data related LinkedIn profiles referencing to tools and technologies and techniques and methodologies as well. And that's, again, another opportunity for you to include some key terms that recruiters will search on. And it's a Boolean logic that's applied here. So the more key terms you can get into your profile, the better. Moving on from that, we then have the experience section, which is essentially your online CV. And to reiterate, this should not be just a list of your job duties. That's too dry. It's not a good way to sell yourself. That's selling a job description, which is not what you want to do. It's an opportunity to talk about your key achievements in that role. So you've got a good amount of space here to get in maybe 2 or 3 short paragraphs. Again, I would include specifics about achievements, whether that is a tangible commercial result that you've delivered, whether it's growing and developing a team from scratch, whether it's some training that you've delivered. It doesn't have to be hard, as I say, commercial results. That can be the kind of softer side of things as well. And again, it's a chance to define your skills. So again, you talk about the tools and the techniques and the methodologies that you use specifically. Moving on from that, education, definitely include that on there. Again, any additional certifications that you've achieved or taken, or training that you might be doing, online courses, Kaggle competitions, that kind of thing. Make sure that's all included. And the question around whether or not to include your degree result is kind of up to you. It's not a deal breaker. I think certainly if you've achieved a first, if you've kind of got the top grade, I would absolutely be shouting about that on the profile. The same goes with the CV, but it's not, as I say, it's not a hard and fast rule these days, and that should be on there. And finally, I just wanted to give a few extra hints and tips around buzzwords, because I think it's really difficult to put together a CV or a profile without using those very overused buzzwords like strategic, innovative, passionate, I just used that earlier, creative. It's difficult not to lean on those kind of buzzwords, but it is really worth taking the time and trying to be a bit more creative. There she goes again with the kind of descriptive words that you use to put together your profile. So really just try and think a little bit differently. Absolutely go away and do your research, have a look at other people that you admire in the industry and how they've put together their profile. Go and have a look at some of the people that work at companies you would like to work for, that do your job. Look at how they've gone about describing their achievements and their skills. You'll certainly get some inspiration and perhaps some good ideas there. But they're not the kind of key terms that we would search on, and they don't really have impact. They don't hold the same weight that perhaps they once did. So if you can describe something and it leaves the reader with nothing but a positive impression, but as I say, leaving some kind of impact, if it's memorable, if it's unusual, if it demonstrates that you're a high flyer, that's the kind of content that you want to include. So I hope all of that's been useful. Again, as always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out directly, and I'll be back next week.